Happy Friday afternoon, Brock Page delegation. Did I mention I was 60% for the year of 2017? Stinging bookies' assholes all year long. Let's try to do some more of the same for Saturday in our slate of NBA professional basketball games. Game number 1, Boston down the turnpike at Brooklyn, or the Throgneck Bridge or Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know how to get there, but that doesn't matter. Here are the lines. Boston open 4.5 up to 5.5. Total open 210 down to 209. Brooklyn's taking just 46% of the handle. They could catch another half a point at most if that trend continues. Boston's still the best covering team in the league, 27-12 ATS, depending on where you're shopping, 3-1 in their last 4. Brooklyn, on the other hand, not too shabby themselves, 4-0 ATS last 4, 3-1 straight up in those 4 as well. The Nets are also covering 61% overall and 73% in games at the current number. Brooklyn games went 3-1 to the under last 4, holding teams to just 93 points a game in those 3 unders as well. And believe it or not, same song and dance in these Boston games on the other side, 3-1 to the under in their last 4 themselves. All told, it looks like I'll be making 2 plays on this game. I'm going to lean toward the under 209 on the total. And I'm also going to make a move on the number. I'm going to move the number and take Boston plus 15.5 as the first pick of my 10-point super teaser. Next game, Cleveland, Orlando. Cleveland open 8.5, now 10. Total open 220, now 221 and a hook. Currently, the Cavs are 415 on the money line. And at the moment, 63% is leaning toward Orlando. So look for them to lose half a point or so very soon. Now, before I get started here, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. These are the 2 worst covering teams in the league. I think a few fellas out there in the desert would describe them as foreclosure teams. Where do they come up with this stuff? But anyway, both teams are just 1-3 against the spread in their last 4. Both teams also covering less than 36% overall for the year. Now, when it comes to Cleveland, listen up here, because this is some pretty good information if you intend on betting them down the road here as well. The Cavs against the spread are just 12-26 overall, 6-24 laying the points, 2-8 in games at the current number. Even worse, Cleveland's covering just 27% as the official road favorite, 29% against teams allowing more than 102 a game, and a measly, pathetic 17% versus sub-500 teams. Now, when it comes to the Orlando Magic, they've been equally as sad. When it comes to making you money, 14-25 ATS overall, 5-13 covering at home, just 11-19 covering as the dog. Orlando's also covering just 25% of their games that tipped off at the current number, 36% as the home underdog, and 27% versus teams allowing more than 102 a contest. Whew. Now, scoring-wise, Orlando and Cleveland, 3-1 to the under last 4, both teams. Pretty high opening number on the total and continues to get bet upward. I'm not so comfortable with the discrepancy between the trends and the line moves, though, so I think I'll take a free pass on the total. And when it comes to picking a winner, hell, I don't even know who's going to win this one outright. You just don't know when the Cavs feel like playing. So if you have a beat on this game or some inside info, or you know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, please feel free to share with all of us in the comment section below. As for me, I'm going to disagree with the public and the sharps and take a free pass on this game. All right, next game I have for you, it is going to be Milwaukee, Washington. Washington opened 5, now 4.5. Total opened 216, bet down to 214.5. Currently, Washington's taking 71% of the action. Look for the spread to get back to that original opening number very soon. And when it comes to the Wizards, they haven't been all that great of a covering team for taking all that early action. Washington's just 2-2 ATS last 4, 8-16 covering as the favorite, 0-7 in games at the current point spread. They're also going up against a red-hot Milwaukee team who's been covering machines. this past week. The Bucks against the spread are 4-0 last four, 10-5 teams over 500, 5-2 in the second game of a back-to-back. Both teams 2-2 to the over last four. No action for me on the total. I am going to take a pass on the number here as well. I know the trends heavily favor the Bucks, but the Wizards have covered 80% in the second game of a back-to-back and 73% against teams over 500. I hate to tell you, folks, I hate to yell. This, unfortunately, is going to be another one that I have to sit out. If you have to, if you have a beat on this one, share the meat in the comments section below. All told, I'm going to once again exercise my right to pass and take no action on this game, but I am going to slide in the next game. New Orleans, Minnesota. Really like this spot here for my teaser. The T-Wolves open 1.5, now 2.5. Total open 216. Bet up to 218.5, and at the moment, just 43% is leaning New Orleans. Now the Pelicans against the spread, 3-2 last 5, 6-4 last 10, 63% when traveling. Other side, T-Wolves 2-2 last 4, 6-13 covering at home, 29% as the official home favorite. Bad numbers. Minnesota games 4-0 to the under last 4. Pelicans games 2-0 to the under in their last 2 themselves. 2 plays for me on this one. All told, I'm going to go against the public money and take the under 218.5 in this one. I'm also going to move the line and take the Pelicans plus 12.5 as the second pick of my 10-point super teaser. All right, folks, I'm going to slide in my next and final game for the show. I'm talking about the Denver Nuggets at the Sacramento Kings. 10 o'clock Eastern start on the West Coast. Golden One Center is the name of the venue where they will play this basketball game. The Denver Chicken McNuggets, 4.5. Total, 206.5. Since the betting opened up, we saw the Sacramento Kings take most of the early action. The number moved downward to an even 4 points in favor of Denver. So, Denver -4. Now, when it comes to total, lots of action from over bettors in this one. This one got bet up to 208 flat. So, short story long, once again, Denver open 4.5, now 4. Total open 206.5, now 208. And at the moment, just 32% of the current public action is on the Kings, so look for them to catch another half a point or so very soon. Now, both teams are hanging around that 500 mark when it comes to covering the number. Both squads are 18-19 against the number, depending on where you're shopping at. Denver has been doing quite well against the number in the last couple of weeks. 3-1 ATS in their last 4, 8-2 covering in their last 10. The Nuggets have also had pretty good success covering the number against these Sacramento Kings. 2-0 ATS in their 2 heads-up contests with the Kings. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sacramento's had a really tough go of things when it comes to making their backers some money. 0-3 ATS in their last 3. 3-7 covering in their last 10. Sacramento against the spread is also 8-9 at home, 14-16 as the dog, and a measly 28% in games at the current number. Now, when it comes to scoring, we've had ourselves a good amount of overs in these Sacramento games. 3-0 to the over in their last trio of games. Unfortunately, for Sacramento backers, they've all been losses. 119 points they're giving up per game in those overs. Meanwhile, a little bit different story on the Denver side of things. 2-1 to the under in their previous 3 games before Wednesday night's action with Phoenix. Denver held their opponents to just 95 points per game on average in those 2 unders as well. All that in mind, I'm going to make just one play on this game, and it will indubitably complete my 10-pointer. I don't like the sides. I don't like the total, but I'd be more than happy to move that number a little bit and take advantage of a red-hot Denver Nuggets team when it comes to covering the spread. So all told, I'm going to move the line, buy it up just a little bit, and take the Denver 20-piece Chicken McNuggets as the 4th and final pick of my 10-point teaser. All right, just a reminder, these teasers are very expensive, depending on where you're shopping at. They're anywhere between $120 and $150, which basically what I'm saying is you have to pay $120 to win 100 or pay $150 to win 100. In the gambling world, we call that a leg. But anyway, you know, I know it sounds too good to be true, just moving the line anywhere you want. It is. You certainly pay for it. But I've been pounding my teasers and pounding my bookie's asshole in the process. But anyway, before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. For some reason, you decide to use the free information on this program. You're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.